This is my driver ratings for the 2022 Australian Grand Prix. I think we can all agree that this was another exciting race. So I will be rating the drivers based on qualifying and the race out of 5 stars. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. So starting with Charles Leclerc. Charles almost had a flawless race today. He had a single mistake after the second safety car restart, went a bit wide into the final corner and Max almost got him, but he kept the lead. He also had a flawless qualifying, giving him 5 stars. Now moving on to Sergio Perez. He did good in qualifying and had a good race, not far off the pace of Max before Verstappen retired, giving him 4.5 stars. Moving on to P3, George Russell. He was out-qualified by Lewis Hamilton, but a good time safety car gave him the lead over Hamilton. He had very similar pace to Hamilton, giving him 4 stars. Moving on to Lewis Hamilton. Like I said, very similar pace to Russell, also giving him a 4 star. Now, Lando Norris. He qualified P4 in a McLaren. The car was clearly a much better car than the first 2 races and managed to get everything out of the car. His race pace was good, giving him 4 stars. Now on to Daniel Ricciardo. This was his home race and I don't think he knew he would finish in P6. Very similar pace to Lando Norris, so giving him 4 stars. Now moving on to Esteban Ocon. He didn't have the same pace as his teammate in qualifying, but he was good in the race, giving him 3.5 stars. In P8 we have Valtteri Bottas. It was clear the Alpha didn't have the same pace it had in the first 2 races, but did good in qualifying and in the race, giving him 3.5 stars. Now going on to Pierre Gasly. A good race, struggled to get past Stroll, but had a much better race than his qualifying, gets 3.5 stars. And in P10 we have a Williams, Alex Albon. He had a crazy strategy and managed to score a point, giving him 4 stars. Next is Zhou. Not great in qualifying, but had a good race. He gets 3 stars. Moving on to Lance Stroll. He had such a bad weekend, crashing in free practice and in qualifying and got a penalty in the race, and he was off the pace, giving him 2 stars. P13 we have Mick Schumacher. Beating his teammate, and the car was slower this weekend, but he finally had the pace over Kevin Magnussen, giving him 3.5 stars. Speaking of Kevin Magnussen, like I said, Mick had the pace over him, and for that reason I'm giving him 3 stars. Next, Yuki Chinoda. He didn't have a great weekend, giving him 2.5 stars. P16 we have Nicolas Latifi. Wasn't a good weekend, but the best weekend of the season so far, giving him 3 stars. Next we have Fernando Alonso. He was so good in qualifying until he got the car problem, but in the race he was way off the pace. I know the second stop cost him positions, but still he wasn't good, giving him 3 stars. Now Max Verstappen. He had very similar pace to Perez in the race and qualifying, but he got a DNF, so he will also get 4.5 stars. P19 Sebastian Vettel. Well, like I said in my prediction video, he was still going to struggle, and this was his first race of the season. But he made so many mistakes, giving him 2 stars. And last, Carlos Sainz, the driver that disappointed me the most. He had bad luck in qualifying, but in the race he reacted so slow off the light and lost 5 positions, and then went off and retired. It was clear that the car had the pace to win as his teammate was dominating, so I'm giving him 2 stars. Thanks for watching, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this, and I'll see you in the next one.